Okay, let's unpack this. There are some days when we pick up a source text and it feels like we are about to eat our vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
Important, nutritious, maybe a little dry.
Mm-hmm. Good for you, but not necessarily fun.
Exactly. And then there are days like today. Today is not a vegetable day.
Mm.
Today is a dessert day. We are looking at a premise that is so delightfully, wonderfully absurd that when I first read the summary, I had to put my coffee down to make sure I didn't spit it out.
I had the exact same reaction.
We are taking a deep dive into the specific mechanics of a contemporary sports romance, and the book in question is Just for the Cameras by Meghan Quinn.
It is a fascinating case study, and I know some people might hear sports romance and think it's just fluff. They might just dismiss it out of hand.
Sure, yeah, low stakes.
But when you actually analyze the narrative architecture here, what the author is doing, it's something very clever. It's taking these massive, heightened tropes. The grumpy athlete, the sunshine civilian, the forced proximity.
All the classics.
All the classics. And it is dialing them up to an absolute 11. It's a masterclass in genre conventions.
11 is right. I mean, let's just set the stage here for everyone listening. The core conflict isn't just boy meets girl. It isn't just boy plays football.
Not even close.
It is three grumpy professional athletes with absolutely terrible public images are forced to volunteer at a zoo.
Which is, it's a brilliant narrative device to just immediately strip away power.
How so?
Well, think about it. You take these men who are, for all intents and purposes, treated like gods in their respective arenas. You have football, baseball, hockey.
Right.
They are wealthy, they are physically dominant, they are used to the world bending to their will, and then you place them in an environment where their physical prowess means absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
A flamingo does not care how many sacks you had last season.
Exactly. Well, the flamingo just cares if you have shrimp pellets. And today, we are basing our analysis specifically on the first 12 chapters of the book. So we are looking at the meet-cute, the inciting incidents, and how the author establishes those central romantic tropes.
Mm-hmm. The setup.
Our mission, if you will, is to unpack how the author constructs chemistry through this forced proximity and, of course, the grumpy sunshine dynamic. We're looking specifically at the pairing of Graydon St. John, who is a defensive end for the San Francisco Foghorns, and Mabel Baker, a flamingo zookeeper.
It's the grumpy sunshine dynamic distilled to its purest form. And what I want to really dig into today is the psychology behind it. Why do we love watching a stoic, angry man get unraveled by a woman who cares deeply about pink birds?
It's so specific and so good.
It's about the dismantling of the ego. It has to be.
I am already laughing just thinking about it.
Yeah.
So let's jump right into segment one, the crisis in the cast. Because, interestingly enough, we don't start at the zoo.
No, not at all.
We start in a boardroom. We start in a crisis meeting.
Right. The narrative context here is crucial. The San Francisco sports scene is failing. And it's not just about losing games, it's about losing the city. The fans are turning on them.
There's a real sense of doom.
A huge sense of doom. Merchandise sales are plummeting. The text mentions a 27% drop for the baseball team alone. That is a hemorrhage of money and fan goodwill.
And to stop the bleeding, we have Gretchen Michaels.
Oof.
Gretchen. We have to talk about her.
We absolutely have to.
The text describes her as wearing a bright red pencil skirt and giving off the impression that she has no problem ripping, well, let's just say ripping sensitive parts off a man's body if he crosses her.
She is the archetype of the terrifyingly competent PR manager. She is all business, no nonsense. She represents the corporate machine that owns these players.
She really does.
And she has gathered 3 specific athletes in this room. Graydon St. John, our guy from the Foghorns, Bennett Brinkman from the baseball team, San Francisco Gulls, and Odin O.C. O'Connor from the hockey team, the Barbary Ghosts.
And the dynamic between these 3 men is established immediately. Even before they really speak, you get a sense of who they are just by how they carry themselves in that room.
For sure. You have O.C., the hockey player, who is, he's chatty, he's a bit of a stirrer, maybe a little too happy-go-lucky for the grim atmosphere in the room.
Chaotic element. He's trying to make jokes.
Yes. Then you have Bennett, the baseball player. He's young, he's quiet, almost a blank slate at this point in the story, just sort of taking it all in.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have our protagonist, Graydon St. John.
Let's talk about Graydon, because the author paints a very, very specific picture of this guy.
Oh, absolutely. He is described as a brick wall. He's 6'5", 288 pounds.
Just a massive human being.
A massive human.
Okay.
He has this faux hawk hairstyle that makes him look dangerous. The text mentions he has bear-like paws. He is built to be physically intimidating.
He sounds like a villain. He's set up like a classic antagonist.
Well, he presents as one, but psychologically he's defensive. I mean, hence the position he plays, defensive end.
Oh, that's a good point. It's literal and metaphorical.
It is. He hates publicity. He hates being there. And we learn very quickly that this grumpiness isn't just a personality quirk. It has a root cause. He has serious issues with his father, Troy St. John.
Yes. Troy is a former pro football player himself, and he seems to take every opportunity to claim credit for Graydon's success in the press.
And that's the key to Graydon's psyche. It's not just that he's a mean guy. He values privacy because his entire life, his agency has been stripped away by his father's narrative. His father uses Graydon's success to bolster his own fading glory.
So Graydon's reaction is to build a wall.
Exactly. He uses his size, his scowl, and his aggression as a shield. He keeps people out so they can't use him, the way his own father does.
It's a control mechanism. If I'm scary, you won't talk to me, and if you don't talk to me, you can't exploit my story.
Precisely. It's a deeply ingrained defense mechanism born from family trauma.
And so into this room, full of tension and daddy issues, Gretchen drops the bomb. The solution to their failing public image, the way to win back the city, is a mandatory community outreach program at the San Francisco Zoo.
Her logic is so simple and so cynical. She just says, people like animals.
That's the entire pitch.
It's a humanization tactic.
Right.
The theory is that if the public sees these aggressive, failing athletes nurturing innocent creatures, they'll forgive the losing records.
They'll see a softer side.
Right. They'll think, oh, he can't be all bad. He's petting a giraffe. It's cynical, but you know what? It's probably effective.
But the assignments, this is where the comedy gold really starts. They hand out the assignments, and you can just feel the author having fun with the contrast.
Oh, absolutely.
Bennett, the quiet baseball player, gets lions.
Which is fitting. It's noble, strong, king of the jungle. It fits a star baseball player with a good arm. It's a cool animal. It has dignity.
Right, it doesn't undermine him at all. Then O.C., the hockey player, gets giraffes.
Which leads to immediate slapstick potential. We find out later through a text chain that O.C. was so excited he ended up sitting in a pile of giraffe dung.
Right.
But he loves it. He's totally into it.
He's all in on the giraffes.
Yeah.
But then we get to Graydon, the biggest, scariest, grumpiest man in the room. 288 pounds of rage. And he gets flamingos, pink flamingos.
It is such a deliberate and perfect narrative choice. If you give Graydon lions or bears or, wolves, you just reinforce his image as a tough guy.
Sure, tracks.
But flamingos, they are delicate, they are pink, they are, most famous for being plastic lawn ornaments.
Right.
By pairing the brick wall with the pink-feathered dipshits, and those are his words, not mine, you immediately strip him of his dignity.
He is horrified. He calls it a sentence. He thinks it's a joke. He's pure muscle and aggression, and he's being told to go hang out with birds that stand on one leg.
And his reaction is just visceral. He's like, are you kidding me? He cannot believe it.
And that discomfort, that is where the character growth and the romance has to start. He has to be broken down to be built back up. He has to learn that being tough isn't the only way to be strong.
Which brings us perfectly to segment 2, the meet cute. Or, in this case, maybe we should call it the clash.
The clash is a much better word for it, because Graydon arrives at the zoo, he's already furious, he's radiating bad energy, and he meets his handler. Enter Maple Baker.
Maple is the perfect foil for him in every single way. She is a passionate flamingo zookeeper. She's not corporate. She's not a fan. She doesn't care about his stats.
She probably doesn't even know his stats.
Probably not. She spent years as a field researcher in Peru, living in a tent. She drives an old beat-up car. She lives a simple life that is entirely dedicated to her work.
And she has this visual quirk that Graydon fixates on immediately, which is so telling. She consistently wears pants that are just a little too short. He calls them high waters.
It's a great detail because it signals unpolished. In a world of curated Instagram models and PR managers like Gretchen who look perfect from head to toe, Maple is wearing ill-fitting khakis.
I think she cares more about the birds than her hemline.
Exactly. It makes her real. It makes her grounded, literally and figuratively.
So, the first meeting. Graydon is being his usual charming self. He walks into the flamingo exhibit area and, under his breath, calls the flamingos pink-feathered dipshits on stilts.
And of course, Maple overhears this.
Of course she does.
Now, Typically in these power dynamics, the service worker, the zookeeper, might cow to the celebrity. They might, get flustered, ask for an autograph, or just ignore the comment.
Right, they'd let it slide.
But Maple doesn't. She challenges him immediately.
She gets right in his face.
Yeah.
She tells him she takes offense to that. She calls them ecosystem engineers. She defends her birds with this fierce passion.
And this establishes the power dynamic for the listener, for the reader, right away. Graydon has societal power. He has money. He has fame. He has sheer physical size. But in the zoo, in her enclosure, Maple is the alpha. She holds the knowledge. She holds the keys. She is in charge, and she makes that clear from second run.
And she proves it immediately by making him wash dishes.
Which is just so humiliating for him. He's a $50 million athlete. He's expecting a photo op to smile and leave. And she hands him a sponge to scrub bird grime off of feeding trays.
It's fantastic. It forces him to be humble, even if he absolutely hates every second of it.
Which he does.
But the scene that really, really sets the tone for their physical dynamic, for their chemistry, is the golf cart incident.
Oh, this is pure physical comedy. It's straight out of a classic rom-com movie.
It is. So Graydon is too big for the cart. He's folded in like origami. The text describes his knees hitting the dashboard. He's just wedged in there.
And Maple's driving, and she's angry because he's been rude and condescending, so she's driving like a maniac.
Like a getaway driver.
Exactly. She's whipping around corners, almost tipping the thing over. It's an expression of her frustration. She can't beat him up physically. He's a giant.
Yeah.
But she can terrify him in a tiny electric vehicle.
And he almost flies out. At one point, he's sliding off the seat. He has to grab onto something to save his life. And the closest thing is her braid. He grabs her braid.
And here's where the whole dynamic shifts. This is where it gets fascinating. They stop the cart. She's furious. She's yelling about him pulling her hair.
Understandable.
And Graydon, being the rogue that he is, he doesn't apologize. Instead, she drops this line. He says, "There's nothing disgusting about pulling on a woman's hair, especially when done correctly."
I gasped. I mean, talk about 0 to 100. 1 minute they are arguing about bird safety and golf cart etiquette, and the next minute he's introducing this incredibly intense, unexpected sexual tension.
It's a classic romance beat. You mask the attraction with antagonism. By bringing up hair pulling in a sexual context, he forces her and the reader to see him not just as an annoying, grumpy volunteer, but as a man, a sexually viable man.
And it works. Maple is completely flustered. She doesn't know what to do with that. She's sputtering.
But she doesn't back down completely, which is key to her character. She keeps driving. But that line hangs in the air between them for the rest of the scene.
It really does. But, let's move on to the third party in this relationship because we really have to.
The flamingos?
The flamingos themselves. Because in segment 3, we have to talk about the birds. They aren't just props. They are characters in their own right.
Absolutely. The flamboyance, which is, by the way, the best collective noun in the animal kingdom.
The best. Hands down.
It serves to humanize Maple. We see her passion, her expertise, her love through them.
And the names are incredible. She's given them all personalities. We have Big Hermie.
Big Hermie is the one-eyed king of the lagoon. Maple treats him like a wise old sage. He's the leader.
We have Dinkle.
Dinkle is just described as the off-bird. There's always one in every group, right?
The weird one.
The weird one. We have Tribs, who's named after Joey Tribbiani from Friends. And naturally, he's the horniest flamingo. He has these eccentric dance moves to attract the ladies.
And my personal favorite, Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart, who takes thirst traps in the water, just poses perfectly.
It's amazing. And Graydon's reaction to all of this is pure disbelief. He thinks she's making this up. He thinks she's writing flamingo fan fiction.
He's so dismissive. But this friction is important, isn't it? Because it's not just about silly names.
No, it's about respect.
It is. Graydon refuses to learn their names or their behaviors. He sees the whole assignment as a prison sentence. At one point, he calls the chicken wire fence around the enclosure an eyesore.
And that's a trigger for Maple.
It's a huge trigger because Maple is desperate. We learn that the zoo facilities are falling apart. That chicken wire isn't just an eyesore. It's there because of an avian flu outbreak. And they never had the funds to fix it properly. She's holding it together with, duct tape and hope.
She needs his celebrity status to secure funding. She's not doing this for fun or for PR. She's doing it for the survival of her flock. She needs a new facility for Big Hermie and the gang.
And that's the emotional hook. That's the real stakes of the story. Graydon is there because he has to be. Maple is there because she loves these animals, and they are in danger.
So the animals serve as a bridge.
They do. Maple defends them like they're her children. For Graydon to respect Maple, which is the prerequisite for falling in love with anyone, he first has to learn to respect the things she loves. He has to respect the flamingos.
But he's resisting. He is fighting it every single step of the way. He is determined to hate this. Until we get to segment 4, the turning point dinner and a deal.
This is a pivotal sequence, a huge turning point for both characters.
Starts with him being annoyed, right? He forces a meeting to discuss their schedules because he wants to get this over with as quickly as possible.
Right. But Maple, again, subverts his power play. He wants a quick professional meeting. She says, fine, but you're buying me dinner.
And not just any dinner. She picks a nice Italian place.
She does. They go to this restaurant and they get a private booth. It's romantic. There's candlelight. The whole works, even though they supposedly hate each other.
The setting is working against their animosity, but then something happens. A little girl, a fan of his, comes up to the table.
And up until this point, you have to remember, Graydon has been nothing but rude to Maple. He's been short, aggressive, and dismissive.
A total jerk.
A total jerk. But when this little girl approaches, he transforms. His entire demeanor changes.
He's incredibly sweet. He smiles. He takes a picture with her. He asks her name. He tells her to eat her vegetables so she can get big and strong like him.
In screenwriting terms, we call this a save the cat moment. You have a character who is unlikable, so you have them do something undeniably good, like saving a cat, or in this case, being kind to a child, to show the audience that they are redeemable, that there's good in there somewhere.
And Maple sees this. She's sitting right there, watching it happen, and she's stunned.
It cracks his armor for her.
It does. She realizes he's not a villain. He's just guarded. He's capable of gentleness.
But then, just as quickly, he snaps the armor right back on. Maple makes the mistake of Googling him at the table.
The Google incident. She's just curious. She just wants to know how old he is. He's 30, by the way. But he catches her.
And he explodes. He gets extremely aggressive about her looking into his past.
The change is jarring.
It's so jarring, and this connects right back to the father issue we talked about earlier. He knows that if she Googles him, she'll see the articles. She'll see the stories about Troy St. John taking credit for his life, for his career.
It's a raw nerve.
A completely raw nerve. He demands that if she has questions, she asks him directly. He wants to control his own narrative. He doesn't want her getting a version of him that's been filtered through his father's ego.
It's intense. He slams his hand down on the table. He says, don't fucking Google me. It scares her a little, honestly.
It shows the depth of his trauma around this issue. But out of this tension, out of this very awkward, very intense dinner, comes a proposal. Maple realizes that just having him wash dishes isn't going to get the funding she needs.
She needs to do more.
She needs to leverage him better, so she proposes a trade-off.
The proposal, she says, I won't just teach you flamingos. I will learn football.
It's an exchange of worlds. It's a gesture of true partnership. I will step into your world if you genuinely step into mine.
And as part of that, they agree to launch a joint social media account.
Which is a huge step for a guy who hates publicity with the fire of 1,000 suns.
It is. And the brainstorming for the name is comedy gold. Maple's suggestions are they're so bad they're good.
They're amazing.
She suggests flamenco hating is a personal foul, spelled F-O-W-L-L.
A terrible, terrible pun. Just awful. I love it.
She suggests pink you stink.
Even worse. So much worse.
And Graydon hates all of them, especially pink you stink, because he immediately thinks it sounds dirty.
Of course he does. He says, pink and stink should not be in the same sentence. Which, again, just shows his mind is in the gutter, and it reinforces that undercurrent of sexual tension between them.
Constantly. They eventually settle on Flock and Tackle.
Which is actually a solid brand name. It's clever. It combines their two worlds perfectly.
So, the deal is struck. They have a plan. And this leads us directly to segment 5, the training montage and physical chemistry. Because Maple has to hold up her end of the bargain. She has to learn football.
So she goes to the football facility, and the contrast here is so stark and visual.
Oh, yeah.
The zoo is falling apart, chicken wire and old buildings. The football facility is state-of-the-art. It's a dome. It has personal chefs. It's this temple of wealth and modern athletics.
It really highlights the wealth gap between them.
Massively. And the workout. Oh, the workout. Graydon absolutely destroys her.
He doesn't mean to, initially. He just doesn't understand what a normal person's body can do.
He has no frame of reference. He's an elite athlete. He's lifting 50-pound weights for overhead presses like they're nothing. And Maple tries to keep up, but she ends up using water bottles.
And she's struggling with the water bottles. It's so relatable. She says her arms are noodles. It's just, She's a fish out of water.
Completely. But the key scene here, the one that really escalates everything, is the stretching.
Oh, the stretching scene.
This is the escalation of physical intimacy, but under a plausible excuse. Maple collapses from exhaustion. She physically cannot move, and Graydon has to manually stretch her limbs for her.
And the text gets very, very sensory here. Maple is face planted on the mat. Graydon is maneuvering her body. She smells lavender from her shampoo. He's between her legs at one point, pushing her leg up to stretch her hamstring.
It creates a situation of forced closeness that is way more intimate than their fight in the golf cart. He's touching her, handling her, feeling the lines of her body.
And we get a glimpse into Graydon's internal monologue here for the first time, really.
Yes, he admits only to himself that she is attractive. He notices she has a killer ass. He notices she has a stunning face when it's not scrunched up in anger at him.
It breaks his I don't care facade. He can no longer pretend she's just an annoying, oddly dressed zookeeper. He is physically attracted to her.
And that changes his internal calculus completely. And after the workout, they have the smoothie aftermath.
Right. They go to the fancy facility cafeteria. Maple is basically a puddle. Graydon orders her food, a recovery smoothie, some fruit.
He's taking care of her in his own gruff way.
He is. And then he steals her pineapple.
It's such a small gesture, but it's so significant. It's a gesture of comfortable annoyance. It's almost playful. You only steal food from someone you have a certain level of rapport with.
It's an act of casual intimacy.
It is. They exchange bios, sort of. Maple admits she likes Ed Sheeran. Graydon, when asked what he likes, just says, sweating and exertion.
Another great line.
Which, again, Maple interprets with a bit of blush. The double entendres are just flying back and forth whether he intends them or not.
So they have this content. They have the workout video. They take a selfie where Graydon is trying to fit his giant head and her normal head in the frame. And then we hit segment 6, the hard launch.
Maple posts the photo on their new Flock and Tackle account. She writes a cute, innocent caption, "He's teaching me football, I'm teaching him flamingos. Come along for the ride."
And the internet loses its mind.
Immediately. The account hits 500,000 followers almost overnight. The comments are just flooding in. Are they dating? New couple alert. I ship it. Hard launch.
And Graydon's teammates, O.C. and Bennett, are in the group chat just roasting him.
Oh, mercilessly.
They are sending screenshots of the comments asking about the hard launch. And Graydon is denying everything. He's panic texting in all caps, "We are not a couple."
But the narrative has already escaped his control, which is his worst nightmare. And this is where the external conflict ramps up in a huge way. Gretchen and the team owner, man named Welcott, see the numbers.
They see the engagement. They see the follower count. They see dollar signs.
Exactly. So Gretchen ambushes them at the zoo. She shows up unannounced. She says the front office loves it. The buzz is incredible. And then she drops the ultimatum.
They want more.
They want a PR relationship, also known as fake dating.
The classic trope. It finally arrives.
It is classic for a reason, and it's deployed perfectly here. Gretchen explains that if they pretend to be romantically involved, or at least, as she puts it, edge the public by not confirming or denying, Mr. Welcott will make a massive donation to the zoo.
A life-changing donation.
The kind of donation that would fix the chicken wire fence and then some, and this puts them in a terrible dilemma.
Graydon's immediate reaction is no. He tries to shut it down instantly.
He does. And interestingly, his argument is protective of Maple. He says it's an invasion of privacy and that the public, the media, the online trolls, they'll tear her apart.
He's being protective. He knows the beast of fame. He knows Maple is sensitive. He's already made her cry twice just by being rude. He doesn't think she can handle that level of public scrutiny.
But Maple surprises him. She doesn't crumble. She asks about the donation. She asks for the specifics.
She's pragmatic. She's thinking about her birds. She looks at the crumbling facilities. She thinks about Big Hermie and Martha Stewart.
And she agrees. She sacrifices her privacy for the flamingos.
Which leaves Graydon furious. But he's also trapped. If she says yes for charity, he can't really say no without looking like a selfish jerk who doesn't care about the animals.
So they are locked in. The deal is made.
And this shifts the dynamic instantly. They're no longer just reluctant partners in the social media project. They are co-conspirators in a fake relationship.
Which leads us right into our final section, segment 7, the thirst trap escalation.
Graydon is angry about the deal. He feels like his hand was forced. But they have to keep up appearances, so they return to the zoo exhibit to get more content.
And for the first time, Graydon finally interacts with the birds. He's tossing shrimp pellets to them.
He's still scared of them, though. There's a great moment where a flamingo named Lester gets too close, and he literally uses Maple as a human shield.
It's a great humbling moment. The big bad football player hiding behind the petite zookeeper because of a bird.
It's perfect. But the real shift, the thing that changes the tone from professional to personal, happens later that night.
Yes. Maple is at home, taking a bath because her muscles are destroyed from the workout. She's got a glass of wine, and she texts Graydon asking for a photo to post on the account.
And this creates a new kind of digital intimacy. They're not in person, they're texting back and forth. Maple jokes that she's going to post an unflattering photo of him to get back at him for the workout.
Then Graydon challenges her. He says, "Good luck finding one."
Which is so arrogant, but also true.
It's true. Maple scours the internet and realizes the man is ridiculously photogenic from every single angle. It frustrates her.
So she texts him back, just some petty flirting, saying his muscles are too big, that's unflattering.
And then Graydon escalates it. Big time. He texts her a picture.
Oh, the picture. It's him in bed, shirtless. The sheet is pulled very, very low on his hips.
It is a thirst trap, pure and simple. It is an intentional, calculated move.
Maple loses her mind. She's in the bathtub, possibly feeling a little tipsy from the Rhine, and he sends that. And his caption is, "Never had any complaints before."
I mean, it moves the relationship from professional antagonism and light teasing to overt, undeniable flirtation. He is baiting her. He knows exactly what he's doing.
And Maple claims she deleted it, but we know she didn't. She is flustered beyond belief. But she can't post that, so she ends up posting the picture of him squatting down, talking to the flamingos.
A safe choice. A very sweet choice, actually.
It is. She captions it. Find someone who looks at you the way Graydon looks at flamingos.
Which is a perfect caption. It sells the narrative of the nice guy underneath the grump. It's great for their PR campaign.
It is, but then Graydon texts her one last time. He sees the post, and he texts her, "Surprised you didn't put the way Graydon looks at me in the caption."
And that is the hook. That is the line that just completely blurs reality and fiction.
Is he just playing the part for the PR stunt? Or is he actually admitting that he looks at her with that same intensity, that he's feeling something real?
It leaves Maple breathless in the tub, and it leaves the reader breathless, too.
It's the perfect ending to this sequence. We've gone from pink feather dipshits to late-night flirty texts and shirtless pictures in the span of, what, 12 chapters?
The pacing is incredible.
So let's wrap this up in our outro. We've watched the journey from absolute hostility to a reluctant partnership to a fake dating deal that is already feeling increasingly real for both of them.
And I think it works because it balances the absurdity of the premise with genuine insecurity. The story isn't just about the jokes and the flamingos. It's about Graydon's deep-seated need for control, stemming from his father clashing with Maple's chaotic, passionate world.
She brings the chaos, the birds, the driving, the ill-fitting pants, and he has to surrender control to be with her.
He does, and it's also about competence, isn't it? We talked about power dynamics, but it's also about expertise.
Oh, for sure. Graydon is a god on the football field, but at the zoo, he's a helpless amateur hiding from birds. And Maple is a world-class boss at the zoo, but at the gym, she's a noodle lifting water bottles.
Exactly. It's competence porn and fish out of water combined. They each get to be the expert and the student in the other's world. It levels the playing field so they can fall in love as equals, not as a celebrity and a civilian.
And the so what for you listening? Why does this story matter beyond being just a fun read?
I think it matters because it's a fantasy about being seen.
Yeah.
Graydon wants to be seen for who he truly is, not who his father says he is, not the caricature the media has made him. And Maple wants her work, her passion, her birds to be seen and valued and saved.
And through this fake relationship, they're actually seeing each other more clearly than anyone else in their lives does.
The fake situation is allowing for real connection.
Which brings us to our final provocative thought for you to mull over. In a world of curated social media, where we all project the best, most polished versions of ourselves, is a fake relationship actually the most honest way for two guarded people to get to know each other?
It's an interesting question. It removes the pressure of real dating. It gives you a script. It allows you to play act intimacy until maybe you look up and realize it's not an act anymore. It's a mask that, paradoxically, reveals the truth underneath.
A mask that reveals the truth.
I love that. Well, that is all we have time for today on this deep dive into Just for the Cameras. We hope you enjoyed the chaos of the zoo as much as we did.
And remember to eat your vegetables so you can get big and strong.
See you next time.